So this is our Pro FD 350Z. I've been driving this car for 5 years now in Formula Drift, 2 years in Pro 2 and 3 years in Pro 1. And it's seen better days. It's been crashed, it's been wrecked, and it's just time for some updates, some new chassis tweaks and things that I've been wanting to do, but just haven't had time to. So we actually picked up a new chassis that we are going to be building, and I kind of wanted to bring you guys with and show you kind of what we do, what parts we're using, the different fabrication that we're doing to the car, and kind of show you what it takes to build a pro drift car. And but before we get started in that, we're going to take you back and show you how this chassis got to this point. So with the 350Zs, there is a ton of stuff to gut on these cars. A lot of steel that has to come out. They had this entire like speaker back seat area that all has to come out. So basically all the way to the spot welds on the side, all the way across, and then it goes up and back, and there's like multiple layers, and it's a huge pain in the butt to do. So we got to get all that out. I'm going to, in this chassis, remove the strut tower brace. I'm going to cut that out, and then we're going to brace it with a new bar once we get the roll cage in. And so we got all these tabs and stuff on the chassis. There's a bunch of unused stuff. All of that has to come out. The whole back of the car is going to get cut off. And so we're going to get going on that. And yeah, probably start from the back and work my way forward. The front of the car already has most of the stuff off of it. We got rid of the entire secondary firewall. So there's the normal firewall. 350Zs have another firewall in front of it, so we get rid of that completely. That allows us to put the motor back farther and get rid of a little bit of weight, and got rid of a whole bunch of the obviously unnecessary stuff on the strut towers. They're all nice and bare. Frame horns are trimmed off, so let's get to work. All right, so we got the back of the car cut off. Got the wheel wells kind of trimmed up to where they're going to be. I'm going to save most of it up in here to kind of keep, some of the rubber dust and stuff out from in the car and in the radiator area. Kind of keeps everything a little bit cleaner. We got the new quarter panel on. That was kind of a pain in the butt. Had to cut it off of the entire old car. Spot welded all the way up and around. And now we're going to go ahead and cut like pretty much the entire thing back out. So let's get to work. As we can see there, we got both sides rough cut out. We're just going to go back with a flap wheel now and kind of clean up these sharp edges. Make sure we don't get cut when we're working on the car. I got to trim a little bit more of this, take some of this, unused metal off. But yeah, we keep most of the wheel well intact. We'll just box in, some of this area where this major structure is here, just so that we don't have rubber and like dirt and crap getting in here. On my last chassis, I actually left this piece here, this part of the quarter panel, but it always just got filled up with rubber and junk. So we got rid of that. That way, any dirt and debris and water and all that stuff will just kind of run out into the side skirt and fall out of the car rather than us carrying it around everywhere. So next up, we will start cutting out probably this strut tower brace. And then once that's out, we will go to town on that crap on the inside. I think probably what I'll do first is just take the Sawzall and kind of rough cut it off. That way I've got a little bit of room to work, and then we'll go in with the grinder and trim it up a little more precise over here, and get the spot welds off and get it all cleaned up. So Okay, so we got the whole speaker section, I don't know what you call that. Got that all cut out. Found the easiest way to do it was to just cut, rather than going in and cutting all the spot welds right away. Just cut the majority of it out, give it an outline, and then you can go back later and get rid of all these. We're gonna go in now and drill all the spot welds out and get the rest of it off. You can see I already started a little bit over there. I think I'm gonna try grinding them off rather than drilling the holes, and see if we can't get it off a little bit cleaner. Then I found the easiest way to get it out. Once you cut, basically, you have to cut along the entire front of it, and then there's this section in the center that holds it down. And once you get all those cut out, I actually had to cut it in half so that I could get it out of the car. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. All right, forgot how much work it is cutting all that crap out. I think we got it all. Got it all cut along the spot welds and ground it all down smooth. We got all the tabs off of here. I did notice one more. I've still got to cut that guy off. But yeah, time to clean this place out. I got a mess on the floor. Push the car outside and clean it out. And then can start doing some welding. I got so Nissan bolts a lot of this stuff together instead of spot welding it. And when I got this chassis, it was missing some of these bolts. So I'm just going to go through. I'm going to take all the bolts out and then just spot weld all of these shut. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. All right, just because I was curious to see how much it actually weighed, I've got everything sitting here balancing on a shipping scale. This is basically everything behind the rear seat. So all of the, that structure that was right here is on here, and just that part you can see weighs just under 35 pounds. Oh, it shut off there. But yeah, just under 35 pounds for that. I'm going to put the strut tower on the scale quick and see how much that weighs. All right, there is this is that stock strut tower brace, and you can see that is about 10 pounds. There might be a couple pieces that I got missing, but yeah, so say about 45 pounds worth of stuff, plus all the wheel wells and the whole back of the car. I didn't weigh any of that, but and the whole fender section, I did find some rust. You can see back in the this will be the front and the back wheel wells. It looks like there's some rust in here under the undercoating. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut this section out and just plate it, and just leave it like that. The over fender pretty much covers, it bolts right there and then comes back. And I'm just going to make like a little mount that holds the side skirt and over fender right there. And so, I mean, none of this really gets seen or anything anyways. So we'll just cut that out and it'll be good. But it is like that on the other side too. Basically the exact same spot and everything. So yeah, we're just going to cut that out and box it up. All right, so started scraping off some of the undercoating. You can see a little bit there. I've just been going in with a heat gun and heating it up and just scraping it off. You can see I'm trying to get all like the uneven areas on the wheel wells and kind of down on the floor there. But I'm gonna put that on hold for a minute, and I'm gonna go in and start plugging up some of these, or taking these little 10mm bolts out and plugging some of those holes with weld. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so we got all those plug welded up. There's a bunch on that side, and there's actually a few up along the roof on both sides and up front. I'm not sure why they nut and bolt it rather than spot welding it. It doesn't really make sense to me. Can't be cheaper or lighter or anything. I don't know, maybe it's got to do with the process of how they put the car together or something. I don't know. Someone knows why, because I've never seen any other manufacturers do this. But Z's also have a lot of bolt-in bracing. But yeah, now that we have all of this, basically the chassis is all kind of braced together. A lot of these bolts, I didn't want to go ahead and take the roof panel off yet until I had all these plug welded, just in case, you know, things shifted around. But those are all done, so now I think we're gonna go through and start drilling out some of these spot welds on the roof and take the roof panel off. All right, I forgot to film it, but I cut the roof off my car. Got it off right here. You can see on the scale, we have about 15 pounds, a little over 15 pounds. So a little more weight off the car. Still got some sound deadening to take out. I think my next step here is gonna be grinding down some of these seams. I gotta get all the seam sealer and stuff out of these crevices, and then we're gonna go ahead and stitch weld all of that. I'm probably just gonna stitch weld like both the front corners of the car, and then maybe a little bit along the rear frame rails, just kind of the places that are prone to getting hit. And yeah, got started kind of figuring out what I'm gonna do with the front tube structure. Yeah, kind of just throwing stuff around, but gonna wait until I get my transmission and engine pulled out of the other car so that I can kind of figure out where I'm going to cut on the firewall. I want to try and do, well, it depends on what transmission we end up going with, whether I cut more or less out of this transmission, tunnel them out of the other one, but really want to make sure that I have enough room for the gas pedal, because I want to try and use the stock gas pedal still. So yeah, that's where we're sitting. So in the back here, this is kind of where I'm talking. I'll probably clean all this out and stitch weld along the frame rail there and down here, as well as I obviously still have to stitch weld this stuff and weld that shut where we cut the cross brace out. But yeah, then once that's done, we can go ahead and start working on the rear tube structure and the front. There it is, Bear 350Z.